Are you situated?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes. Does my hat look okay?
It looks good.
Okay, thank you.
It's very elegant.
I love the hat. My problem with it is that it's very tiny in the head hole region. And I have a very large head hole.
You have a large head hole?
Yeah. It's called my mouth. I have a very large head, and most hats don't fit. This is no exception. So all of my hair is beehived into the hat.
But in doing so, I feel like it's sturdily on your head.
It ain't going nowhere.
That's great.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
I think we should spook it up in here.
I am so ready.
What do we have today? We have personal stories.
Oh.
We've got listener stories.
Do we ever have listener stories? We have listener stories. You guys came in clutch.
Absolutely. If we don't read your story and you have sent us one, that does not mean that we skipped over it or we haven't gotten it. We take all these stories, we don't read them because I'm
very, very steadfast about not reading them. I will not do it because I want to be spooked in real time.
I'll skim them because I can't help it. I see certain keywords sometimes, and there's some coming up today that just be so
my
good.
My eyes are gonna water so much.
That's another thing with our makeup for you guys listening at home, which that's most people. We are in makeup today. We are recording this episode in video format for a couple of some tiers of our Patreon over on Patreon.
We'll post a picture when this comes out of what we look like.
And I'm thinking, like, our eyes are going to water and we're going to look real gross at the end of this.
Yes. It's going to be great.
It's going to be nasty.
We'll take our picture when this is over and we'll look at the aftermath.
Look how scared we were. And we're just like a couple of wash rags. Should we lay out our table of contents?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a menu of spook.
Ooh, okay. So, one of us, I don't know who, whatever, is going to start. Whatever, fuck it. We each have an actual event that we would like to share.
Yeah.
Mine did happen to me in the very house that we sit in right now. Mine actually has a audio component to accompany it.
Yeah, it does. And it's really pretty fucking spooky.
After we do personal stories, we have
urban legends.
Campfire stories.
So we kept this a secret a little bit, because we wanted it to be like, kind of a surprise. And we've really had a lot of fun with this. We have each picked 2 urban legends. One of our own choice and the other from our top 2 biggest listener cities.
I have been waiting to reveal that. I have been itching to reveal that.
And I know, I'm so excited. And our top 2 listener cities are Los Angeles, California.
Mm-hmm. And Detroit, Michigan. And mine is scary as hell.
Mine's so fucking scary. And I'd never heard it before.
And then we're going to do our listener stories, which you guys...
Yeah, fan them out.
For our patrons that we have watching this episode, I want to show you guys.
I don't even know if it's... Yeah, we have so many. It's not even going to transfer. There's like 12 pages.
You can't see, and I know it's probably...
It's more than that. That's probably about 20 pages.
There's a lot. And I mean, there's everything from some stories are half a page, some stories are 3 pages long.
And we're just going to fucking read them.
We're going to roll.
We're going to read the shit out of them.
We're going to read the ass out of these stories.
We're children.
I know. Let's go. Let's do this.
All right. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So this isn't like the scariest of stories, but it's definitely a little weird. Okay. So when I first moved to Magnolia, Arkansas to go to college at Southern Arkansas University, I lived in a rent house with Ashley in the middle of nowhere. I mean, really, it was in rural Southern Arkansas, like 20 minutes from town, down all of these Sasquatchy looking Arkansas roads. I mean, very spooky to drive.
The roads themselves look like Sasquatch.
I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, I would drive home sometimes at night and just be like, tonight's the night. I'm going to see him tonight. I know it. It was ridiculous.
He's just going to squanch out in front of you.
Yeah, like squanch. So we were out there, and this house was old, like 1920.
Oh, yeah.
The house was a little weird. And not in like a forceful, like noticeable kind of way, like in your face.
Yeah. There were demons coming out of the walls.
Yeah, but weird things would happen. And for instance, like I would be on the phone. This happened more than once. And I would be on the phone and someone would always say, who's talking in the background? People would always be like, do you have people over? Like everyone always heard voices just talking in the background all the time. And it was just, I hated it. I would always be by myself and be like, God. And then like one time I was just like fixing my hair in the bathroom and like the shampoo and conditioner just like fell over. And then there was one night, and this was weird. So I had a case of LaCroix, just pushed up on top of the fridge. It was like in the middle of the night, and I hear like this explosion, and Gizzy loses it. And I mean, it's just like, I remember just being frozen.
I hate that paralyzing.
I was paralyzed. And I remember I somehow went back to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and all of those LaCroix were all over the floor. Just everywhere.
So something had to give the thing a good shaking.
Well, and so here's where things get interesting. It's because I knew something was up with this house, and it was not necessarily frightening, but it did start to get worse. And like I remember one night, and I could hear things like tapping the glass. And I actually texted my landlord. It was like 1:30 in the morning. And I said, hey, I don't know what's going on. I hear things. And he actually came out like on his ATV and he rode around the house. And he, the next day, actually brought me a handgun.
I remember.
And I was by myself pretty much. And so he brought me, and it was a hand cannon. This thing was like a judge. It made me feel better. It really did, but I don't think it was actually a person outside. And, but I found out a little bit about this house that I didn't know until shortly before I moved out of it.
I remember when you told me about this was very scary, and you were still living in the house. So I remember just being like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But on the inside, I was like, you need to get the fuck out.
So it used to be the community church where they would do all the funerals, all of the wakes, anything like that. Anything basically involving death happened in that house. Kind of the funeral parlor.
Yeah.
I remember by the time I found that out, I already knew I was moving, and I was counting down the days.
Yeah. That's my dream, though, just to live in a morgue.
Is it really?
Because it's cold.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people there. It's quiet. It's the dream. And then everybody thinks you're spooky. That's all I want.
I would give you 30 minutes.
You think?
Yeah, and you would be GTFO.
Somebody hook us up with a night in a morgue.
Someone hook you up. I want no part. I am well aware that I don't want that in kind of life.
I'll take it. I don't want that semi-charmed kind of life. So this is my personal story. There's stuff in this house.
Yeah.
And Macy can attest to it. But there's a hallway over here to my left. You'll just see things kind of pass by out of the corner of your eye. Mm-hmm. Several times I've been doing whatever, and I see something pass by, and I'm like, oh, hey, Clark. Call out to my husband, and he's in the backyard, like mowing the lawn or something. Or he'll come out from a completely different room and be like, yeah, what's up? And
that's just like him.
Yeah, what's up? This house is old. It was built in the 50s. It's not the oldest thing in the world, but it is probably the oldest house that I have lived in. And it has had many, many people live here.
Yeah.
My neighbor next door, he's been here for 50 some odd years.
He gave me a good stare down when I pulled up in his bathrobe. He was leaning on his car.
Yes.
In his plaid bathrobe.
That's his look.
And he was just like leering. I pulled up in the pickup. I took the truck here today, and like,
who's this tiny girl in a big pickup?
Yeah, he just stared at me forever and then slowly meandered inside in his bathrobe.
I'm very grateful for him because he watches his neighborhood like a hawk.
Good.
A, I feel like that's good just safety wise. B, he's got all the goss. Man, he's got all the goss.
He does. I bet he is a wealth of gossip.
He's been here for a very long time, and he moved in before many of these other houses were built, and he said this was all just forest basically out here. And he moved in when he's 80 now, and he moved in when he was, I think he said like 30. However this math works out. But he's been here a very long time. So he's seen everyone who's come through this house, and he's given us some lowdown. There's been some darkness in this house.
Violence.
There's been some violence in this house. But there's also playfulness. There's a wealth of different feelings that you get.
Well, sometimes I just think it's residual energy of all the life that's been lived in it.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily, and especially if you think of time, time is an ocean, it's not a river.
Yeah,
exactly. Sometimes I think the things that we see are actually happening.
Yeah.
But they're just happening in a different perspective, There's something in this house that feels very confused to me. Just not sure what's going on, which I think is sadly the case for a lot of spirits. My husband and I, we had found a old microphone. Do you remember, not like these?
Yeah.
But like those ones that are like long and you'd use in like the 90s, record your manifestos on your computers when everybody, it was just it's just the most like early technology ever. We had found one, we're kind of playing with it. It has almost a metallic-y sound to it. Like it's, the microphone itself has some kind of malfunction, right? So when you talk, it's, I feel like robotic, right? And we would record things and listen back to them. And at one point we dropped it. And it was recording this whole time. We dropped the microphone, and in the background, you can hear my husband and I, hello? You hear the noise, the microphone drops, and you hear the kind of shuffling of it, and we're talking to each other. You very clearly hear us talking to each other in the background. And as we're picking the mic up, you hear a voice in that kind of metallic-y, robotic thing. You hear a voice say, hello? And to me, it's clear as day.
Yeah.
And I have a theory about this. And we listened back to it. And let me tell you, my husband is a skeptic.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. He's a skeptic. Like, a lot of things we talk about in general, he's very skeptical on. But when it comes to ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, he's not just a skeptic. He's like a flat non-believer.
Yeah.
And he was he shook. He could not explain it. And since then, he's kind of he's revisited the issue.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think it might have been, and there's no solid answer for it. Yeah. Which I kind of love that's happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so I have a theory about this. When we were very first playing with this microphone, we were saying a lot of hellos.
Yeah.
Thought it was funny to hear the mechanical feedback and stuff like that. And I think we had said hello so many times, something was saying hello back.
Maybe so.
And if there wouldn't have been that malfunction, that feedback, it probably would have sounded like a very normal voice.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to drop that in. If it's not dropped in right now, it'll be at the end of the episode. But please give that a listen and tell us what you think. Tell us what you think. What happened? So what'd you guys think? Spooky, right?
It's very spooky.
It's spooky.
I think it's spooky.
I am getting a little oogied out, though, knowing that happened just over there.
That's okay.
So why don't you go ahead and tell me something that's going to scare the shit out of me even more?
So I'm going to be talking about the melon heads. I don't know if you ever had any of them, but I had those. They were excellent. They were like weird U.S. book that I first read about them, and I was like 13. And it scared me to death. And I've never forgotten about them. And it's just very creepy. Legend has it that they are a band of like small humanoid childlike beings with these just a terrible case of hydrocephalus. Like huge bulging heads, bulging eyes, and like these spindly little bodies, almost like the Greys, is what I picture, but with like
but like short,
lumpy heads. Yeah, they live in the woods.
Yeah, they better.
Yeah, they're wood dwellers, and so there's some different origin stories involved here. So the Ohio legend says that the melon heads were originally abandoned children that a scientist named Dr. Crow took in.
Can we talk about Dr. Crow?
I know, isn't that great?
God damn.
He decided to take them in his facility in Kirkland. And he apparently, according to the legend, performed horrible experiments on them. Torturous experiments. Like
nice guy.
Injecting chemicals into their brains, causing the hydrocephalus, and as well as mental deterioration, mental insanity. After years of torture, they snapped, killed him, burned down the lab or the office, and escaped into the woods.
Oh.
And they moved into the woods of Crybaby Bridge.
I know a little bit about Crybaby Bridge.
I do too. I was like, oh, it's weird when legends intertwine.
Oh, shit. That's not where you want to be.
No. They have been inbreeding for years, thus becoming more and more lunatic.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No.
They tend to surprise campers, hikers, motorists, and are typically suspects of mutilated animal carcasses that people find in the woods.
Oh.
Yeah, or missing people. Some people kind of, it might have been the melonheads.
So if you're going camping,
watch out. They come out at night to hunt, and apparently, I don't know, I wrote these notes at 5:30 in the morning. Here's what I said. They come out at night to hunt and fuck shit up.
I was hoping it would be something like that.
So this was the story that stuck with me, that I've remembered since I was 13, and it was in Weird US, and it really freaked me out. A man named Tony was driving
my dad?
It was Tony. Driving the Ohio roads. He was looking for the melonheads, and he was on all the hotspot roads,
Don't do that.
Yeah, I know. He was about to leave. He'd been driving up and down them, and nothing was happening, and he was about to leave when he looked out of his window and saw one, and it was running alongside the car, but he was going 40 or 50 miles an hour.
I don't like that.
No, it was like running.
I don't like what you're saying.
And he said it was bigger, though. It was like 5'7". It was like a bigger one. And it was like keeping up with the car. And it was wearing like destroyed jeans held together with corn husks. Like, yeah, like Deliverance type stuff. And he said it had a white shirt with brown and red stains all over it. And the side of his head just had holes, no ears. And his eyes were huge. They hit a curve, like turned, and he dove into the woods.
Oh.
I've never forgotten that.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about with that. So first of all, it has the wherewithal to be not only wearing clothes, but to have repaired them at some point. And the idea that like sometimes creatures of this sort, it's easy to relate them to animals. But that means they have some level of intellect. Yeah. Humanity, I guess, that they've retained.
No,
and
these are feral beasts.
That's the part that's the scariest to me.
Apparently they have a hard time seeing, like due to their eyes, probably like the pressure from the hydrocephalus. There was another story, and this one was in Michigan, the Felt Mansion. These teenagers like pulled up, and this was daytime, and they saw like a man come out of the woods, and nobody was there, but he started walking. And then he started kind of like power walking towards them. And then he started like,
I don't like it,
jogging. And then he started sprinting. And they could see that his head was all fucked up. And so they like got in the car and drove away, and they told their dad what happened. And he was like, don't fucking go back there. Like, bad news.
Listen, kids, have you heard of the melonheads?
But this one was weird.
Your eyes are watering.
Oh, my eyes are watering bad. This was a weird story. And this is a twist, another theory that's kind of involving this. And one theory is that it was a government cover-up, and this was like World War II experiments involving nuclear radiation and things like that.
I believe it.
And so there's one story that's about some teens. They saw a melon head and they chased it into the woods.
Fucking teens.
I know, it's always the teens. It's why they get killed. And they stumbled across this old farmhouse with a bunch of melon heads and an old couple on the porch. Melonhead kids, and then a couple.
An old couple of melonheads?
No. So, and they told the teens that they were a result of a government cover-up, basically an experimentation, and they were paid to disappear. He was a nuclear scientist back in the day, and due to radiation exposure, his children were all born melonheads. And they had to move to the woods to like hide what the government was doing.
I buy it and I don't, because I'm always down to buy a good government cover-up conspiracy. Yeah. However, at the same time, I think they might just off you at that point and not risk having a bunch of little...
Especially just one family. But then there was another theory, and it still involved Dr. Crow, but it was focused more on his wife. Oh. And it's that she was really the protector of these kids, and it's that he wasn't this mad scientist. He was a doctor who treated children with hydrocephalus. And, people were really mean to them because they looked different and things like that. And Mrs. Crow would like protect them and really take care of them. And then the legend has it that she died and they lost it. And that's when they killed Dr. Crow, burned down everything, and ran off into the woods. So
grief will drive you mad.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's legend one. That's the legend of the melon heads.
The story with the guy in the car driving.
I hate it.
And the one just booking it by his door.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I will not be able to drive at night for a while.
I know. It really fucked me up.
One of my favorite activities is night drives.
Ew, not me. I can't see at night when I drive.
Who needs to see when you drive? No, and I live in the city. But if you take this certain road, 20 minutes of driving, you're in nothing. You're in nothing. And I love to just cruise, roll your window down, play music real loud. You're not bothering anybody.
Cruise.
I'm not going to be able to do that. Can you imagine? Okay, listen, if this is actually what you're doing at this period, you need to feel scared. But like, can you imagine driving at night with your window down?
No.
And just looking out and he's just there, just running along.
Nope.
I did a good bit of looking around to find something I wanted to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about the story of Robert the Doll. And if you know it, you know it. And if you don't, you're in for such a sweet treat. There's an artist who is fairly well known. His name is Robert Eugene Otto. When he was a child, he lived in Key West with his family. And his parents owned a plantation and were apparently super dicks. God, especially the kid's mom. Robert's mom would apparently just fire just legions of people at a time because they took like a minute longer break than they were supposed to. So Robert's grandfather brought home a doll one time from Germany.
It's always the grandpas.
It's always the grandpas.
And let's just say it's not a little doll.
No, this doll he's 3 feet tall.
Fuck it.
No, so Robert Eugene would go by Gene. And when his grandfather gave him this doll, he decided to name the doll Robert. So he gave the doll his own namesake. Yeah. Which is already a little creepy to me.
Yeah.
But I guess, he was a kid. Kids do weird shit. So this doll, he's dressed like a sailor, and he's holding his own little version of a stuffed toy, which is creepy. Like things holding little things of things that they are. It's a dog or a lion. Just a creepy vibe to him. And he has that very almost primitive doll look. Yeah. Almost wooden looking. And something that creeped me out so bad. The sailor suit that he's wearing is apparently a suit of jeans. So it's the little boy. Oh, yeah. His suit. He dressed this doll up in his own sailor suit that he just had for some reason.
Well, I mean, I feel like people dress little kids up like little boys, like take pictures and shit.
He might have his little stupid sailor, but the fact that he didn't like come dressed this way and he was just like, let's put him in some of my clothes. Like this relationship that he has with this doll.
Yeah, especially once you find out how the relationship transpired.
Yes. It begins creepy and it ends creepy. Yeah. He's a child at this point. He's doing normal things that little kids do with dolls. He's taking him everywhere. He's setting him up at the table. Yeah. Just little things that kids do. He would even blame small little misfortunes that happen in the house on Robert. Think like a broken vase, and the mom's like, Gene. Yeah. And Gene's like, it was Robert. Yeah. The parents at this point, they just thought it was cute as shit. Adults love that shit. Kind of skewed.
Not me. If I had a kid and they said that thing's getting burned.
Here's the thing. When I have a kid,
I'm going to believe them.
I'm going to believe stuff like that because kids, they have, I don't know.
They can see through the veil easier than we can. I'm going to believe them.
So I feel like this kind of skewed their vision a little bit. They kind of they let a lot slide that might in other situations be a little bit of a red flag of this isn't right. So this behavior continued for quite a while, and it started to become unhealthy. He started to get a little too old for playing with dolls, carrying dolls around. The parents started worrying that he might be a little too old for this, and like, are we gonna have a talk with him? They started to hear his conversations with Robert.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They don't notice for a little while, but they eventually begin to notice that they are hearing their son do the voice back, like he's doing a back and forth. Yeah. And then the more they listen, the more they realize that second voice is deep. Somehow seeps through the walls. Yeah. And they've come to the conclusion that that's not their son talking back. And honestly, these people let this shit go on for way too long.
They always do in these stories.
Robert began to show up at weird little places through the house. he would go to bed with Jean. Jean would hug him as he fell asleep, and they'd wake up and Robert the doll would be in the parents' bedroom. Or he would be in one room and then somehow in another really quickly.
If I woke up and that thing was in my bedroom, I would shit a brick.
Yes, an actual brick. Jean, the young boy, he started to have night terrors. So the escalation is really ramping up here. He started to have these night terrors where he would just scream in the middle of the night. As this went on longer, they would rush into his room to see if he was okay. Chairs and blankets would be ripped off of beds, and pictures on the walls would be askewed and knocked down, and Robert the doll was always in the corner, standing up on his own little accord, and he would look at them. And the kid still insisted it was Robert. And they started to take that a little bit more seriously. And they would really keep tabs on this doll. And when they noticed, when they started watching him more, they would actually be looking in a certain direction and they would see something skitter across the house.
Fucking A.
Neighbors, when they talked to neighbors about this, neighbors would insist that at night, when there was lights coming out of the house, they would see a 3-foot figure.
I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Moving across the house. Shadow its way across the room.
Literally my biggest fear. I feel like I could throw up.
The mother took the doll and locked him in the attic, where they would hear him giggle at night.
Fuck it. Nope. Nope.
It was almost as if he was...
Kill it with fire.
Mocking.
Yeah.
He's, oh, you locked me away. Isn't that funny? That's hilarious that you did that. There's a cool little origin story that I think is nonsense, but it's interesting nonetheless. It's said that, remember how I said the parents were real dicks to the people they had working with them? It was said that one particularly harshly fired group kind of got together and they practiced black magic and they cursed this doll to kind of get back at the family for
basically
being
to
such an
leech
asshole.
their son to death forever.
And the thing is, this doll...
That makes more sense than anything else.
I think it does make sense because anything it did was scary and bad. It was kind of geared more towards the adults to like freak them out. Apparently his relationship, Robert the doll's relationship with children, is pretty all right. Robert was scared, but he did keep him around, and he never outwardly terrified of the doll.
Yeah.
Okay, so some time passes. Jean's parents eventually pass away, and he inherits the house in Key West. Even when Jean was a grown man, he's married at this point, has a couple of kids. He's an established artist, and he's kind of well known throughout the Key West area. He goes and digs that doll out of the attic.
Why would you do it? I bet he'd just been whispering in his fucking ear.
Just calling to him, and he couldn't take it anymore. Not only digs this fucking doll out, not to like give it to his kids or anything, he digs this doll out to sleep with him in his marital bed.
Divorce papers.
Right?
In your face.
The second you even
like
suggest
the second he even goes towards the attic door.
So his wife had a bit of an issue with this.
Fair.
She wasn't divorcing papers in his face yet, but she said, not in the bed. So he did the next worst thing, and he got a chair, propped this little bitch up in the corner.
That's worse.
To face them.
That's worse.
At night.
Worse.
This created an enormous amount of stress in the marriage, and the wife got to be where she just hated being around it. She wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't have it.
She won't have it. And she would gossip to her neighbors, talk to her neighbors, and say, I don't like this. What's happening? And at this point, she starts to hear from her neighbors, well, sometimes at night when your lights are on,
Jesus fucking Christ,
we see a little figure rolls across the room, and they're like, there's something there. And so the wife got very vocal about how much she didn't want this. And Jean got very violent about it towards her. And he started having horrible mood swings. He was really battling, I guess, maybe with this. But he got enraged. Rage and anger really ruled these mood swings for him. He wasn't very sad and mopey. He was angry. And he even got to the point where he put hands on his wife. Oh. Which, any kind of sympathy I had is kind of gone at this point for him. When he came out of these rages, he would blame the doll. Oh. And not like, oh, the doll made me do it. He would say that Robert did that to her. So he's either losing it or he's having some kind of change in his reality.
It almost, you know what it almost sounds like? That he created a tulpa.
that he kind of made this
He manifested
happen.
him. Yeah.
You know? There might have been something a little weird with this doll, and I think he very much kind of fed on his mental attachment to it, and it just kind of grew and became worse. So anyway, they leave the house. Don't know. I think they passed away. The house was vacant for a little while, and some new people moved in, and it was kind of like furnished with their stuff, which is creepy already. Like, that's the beginning of a horror movie, moving in and like old shit's in it. So the new residents who move in, they have a little 10-year-old girl with them.
Fuck.
And she finds herself incredibly drawn to the attic. And of course, she finds Robert the doll. And the whole cycle begins again. She starts exhibiting the same signs. Only her parents weren't fucking stupid, sent this doll off to the Fort East Martello Museum, which is a museum of haunted objects. And
they don't play around with him.
Right. They had him out on display. And it wasn't too long before they put him in a glass case.
Sealed in salt.
Sealed him up and stuck his ass down in the basement. Many, many people have experienced this. They go to this museum. They are allowed to go and view Robert the doll. People started reporting that they just felt a severe sense of unease about him. He wasn't cute anymore. There was darkness and there was anger. And a lot of people think that he was taken away from the child that he was with. Yeah. So he's salty about it.
Yeah. Which, I kind of get.
I get, and he's in a box.
Yeah.
And this is the worst. Some people say that they see a change of expression on him. And I have to tell you guys, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. As I was looking at the photos of him online, there are pictures that his face looks different in. This doll is 111 years old.
He's old.
So they've had him in the museum for a good little bit. So they've learned things about him as they've had him there. Apparently he does not like his photo being taken without permission. So if you go and you say, Robert, can I take a picture with you? And you don't immediately feel like he's saying no, it's all right. But some people have ignored this completely and they take pictures. People who do this tend to have accidents afterwards, particularly car accidents, some of them even being fatal. So much so that he's now surrounded, and these started to trickle in over time, but he's now surrounded with letters that people have sent in begging forgiveness. Some people even send offerings to him to like appease him. They'll send food. Some people have left him joints.
You never know.
And the owners are like, we're still a museum, guys. Come on. That's the story of Robert the doll. And I never, usually when there's stories like this, I want to go see the place. I want to see the house. I want to see the part of town that this happened in. This is the thing that I have no desire to lay eyes on. I saw his pictures, Google him with caution. And that's enough for me.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of, and I'm not very much like this, but at the time I was doing it, I just grabbed my bundle of sage. I didn't even really light it. I just kind of held it with me. And I was like, you're not coming through that fucking computer screen. Well, there you go.
That's great. I don't like it. I'm going to tell you about a little story.
About Jack and I.
Oh, no. Okay, so this isn't technically LA. It's Ventura County. This is the story about the Char Man.
What? The Char Man?
The Char Man. I knew I'd get your attention.
Please tell me he's not charred, because that would be...
Yeah, he is.
Fuck you. Okay.
And my eyes are already watering.
I can tell they're already going.
Fucked me up, man. Okay. So the Char Man is a hideous spirit that is so burnt it's hardly a human anymore. And it's tall and hulking. It wears like filthy, tattered bandages. Ooh. I picture like the nurses in Silent Hill almost. The ones that like walk all fucked up. But like he's so fucked up. Like the bandages are like seared into his skin. And he's said to be surrounded in this constant cloud of flies.
Oh.
All the time. And following him is this apparently choking odor. Like the smell of burning flesh. And it's apparently induced vomiting in people. Like it's that potent.
I don't enjoy this. Stop.
This is worse.
Halloween's canceled.
It gets so much worse. But it begins in 1948. That's kind of like the understood thing. And there was a big ass fire in 1948. And this is like wildfire country. Okay, well, there was this father and son and they lived in a cabin. They get trapped in the fire. And the father burns to death, but the son is horribly burned, but somehow is alive. But apparently he's in so much pain, he went crazy. Yeah. And so by the time rescue people came in a couple days later, he had chained his dad up to a tree and took his skin off to put on his skin.
Oh my God.
And then he ran off into the woods.
Oh.
He is the Charman now. A mass of charred flesh, but somehow able to move when they came on the scene. That's what they said. And the officers were so stunned and sickened by the smell that they couldn't even chase him into the woods.
Oh.
He was in that bad of shape.
He was, there was some rot happening.
Yeah, yes. So yeah, he is now said to attack passersby and thrill seekers, trying to take their skin.
Oh my God.
But there's another quick legend that's kind of intertwined in that's a little more sad. And it also involves the fire of 1948. But some people say that you can go down, it's they call it Charman Bridge. And you can do your classic park your car, turn your lights off, and you can scream, "Help me." And because of that, one, some people say it could have been them burning, but the other one also involves the fire. And it's that the Charman, he was a man who burned to death, but he was pinned, and he could hear his wife screaming, "Help me." And he was, so that induces him, apparently. He, roams and just stumbles around the woods. He's not graceful, which is scarier to me. And
if you look out and see just somebody just slapping around.
Yeah, he's like a fucking zombie.
Oh.
And, some people, you can do help me, or whatever. And some people have said this causes him to rampage out of the woods.
I don't like that.
Or, one, scream back at you. So, you'll say, help me, and he'll just scream back, Or attack your vehicle. Just come straight at your fucking car.
Why is the screaming back at you the scariest one?
That's the scariest one.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's acknowledgement. It makes my eyes water so bad. This is the part that really got me. He is allegedly easy to hear coming.
Yeah, if he's knocking into trees
he has
and
heavy
shit.
steps, but he moans because the branches touch his sensitive skin. Oh. His burned, skin. And so he makes, these moan noises when he's, traveling through the woods. Is a giveaway, that he's around, apparently. Yeah, so that's the Charman. Oh. And I really hate it. It really fucked me up.
Such a mix of sad and scary.
And terrifying.
Yeah.
Because he's so angry now. Or, mad, and he
But also, the moaning, because something's touching.
Oh, it's misery.
Just an eternity of horrible pain. Okay, I don't like it.
All right. Regale me with a spooky story from...
Well, I also have a road-based
I like road-based
legend
stuff.
All right. So my legend comes from Detroit, Michigan. And this is the story of Knock Knock Road.
Oh, I like it.
So this is Strasburg Road in Detroit. It's kind of a short road. It's not a big, long-ass country road. It's about 16 blocks. I went and I looked at it on Google Maps.
There you go.
Because I wanted to scare the shit out of myself and just look at this road where these horrible stories have happened. Something about this street attracts tragedy.
Oh.
The first occurrence is said to happen, or the first occurrence we know about is said to happen in the 1940s. A little girl has said to have been killed on the road by a careless driver. It's said that her ghost now will stalk the road. And if you go driving down this road, especially at night, you're likely to see a ghost of a little girl. And she kind of black-eyed kids you a little bit. Oh. Not fully, but there's some stuff there, because it's said that you'll see this little girl when you look away and you look back and she's gone. But then she will abruptly knock on your window and she'll be standing next to your window. And she is looking for the driver who killed her. Oh. The next story happened a little bit later. This is a car full of teenagers joyriding, so I imagine probably 50s, 60s time, speeding through, showing off their car, I imagine a very 60s kind of car, and the girls are sitting on the back of the top down window.
They're going,
They're just sitting there riding. They got their little glasses on.
Going for a cruise.
Well, it doesn't end well because they crash into a telephone pole.
Oh, shit.
Some of them didn't immediately die. Oh. This is a time when there weren't a whole hell of a lot of this wasn't a big area really yet. So the houses are kind of sparse. And
oh, no.
It's said that sometimes when you drive down, you might see a broken down car, but more likely what you'll hear is you'll hear frantic pounding on glass.
Oh, God.
Of these kids trying to get out of the car.
Did it catch on fire?
I don't know if it caught on fire, but they did all eventually die. Their last acts in life were just desperate pounding on the windows.
Oh, my God.
Not only were they dying, but they were terrified.
And that will leave an energy imprint.
Absolutely. As will this next one. And this one's a little rough, you guys. So it's a little rough, but it's spooky. So here in, I think it was the 90s is the best record I could get. A man was driving his babysitter home. He pulls off to the side of this knock-knock road and tries to make a pass at her.
Do they call it knock-knock because of the kids hitting on the glass?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Well, if so the little girl knocks on your window.
That's right.
And then the teenagers are also knocking on their car door. And then this one here. So he tries to make a pass at her and she refuses. And he decides to push her out of the car.
Piece of shit.
Dick move. So he pushes her out of the car, slams the car door, and he just drives off. However, when he slammed the car door, he caught her dress.
Oh, shit, I knew you were going to say that.
He caught her dress, and he ends up dragging her to death on this road. This is the worst one. This is hard for me to say. Sometimes if you drive slowly down this road, you'll hear a knocking on your car.
Oh, God, like she's, oh, God.
But it's not coming from the windows. It's coming from about...
the body.
It's coming from about midway up your car, as if someone is trying to get you to stop the car.
I have tears everywhere on my face.
That is why you should stay the fuck away from Knock Knock Street. Unless you live on Strasburg Road, please write us and tell us what you know about these.
That's horrible.
Urban legends, these campfire stories.
I am covered in tear water.
You're a wet dish rag over
the empath in me is having a really hard time with these stories.
I'm a little spooked. I feel sick to my stomach.
We're going to have to watch some Portlandia after this is over.
I'm down for that.
Are you okay with that?
I'm down with that.
We haven't even hit the scary shit yet.
Speaking of.
I want a ghost story. This one's from Corey Caldwell. Here's what she said here. There's a little bit of a beginning here. She said, before I start the story off, I must explain a few things. I have a very small and close-knit family. I grew up with two parents who never got divorced and one slightly older sister. When my sister was in her early 20s, she met her husband, and because he was a soldier, she soon moved out of state very far away. Around the same time, I moved back home with my parents and brought with me my 3-year-old son. Being my father had only ever had daughters, he was over the moon to have a little boy in the house. This was 7 years ago, and I have never moved away. Last year, in early November, I was driving home on a sunny but chilly afternoon. I turned down into my road, and as I drove closer to my house, I listened to the calming crunch of snow under my tires. I was about 80 yards away from my house when something caught my eye near the front door. There's a birch tree 4 feet from the front door, and there appeared to be a figure standing behind it. I hate it.
You can't have something so beautiful, so beautifully written as the calming crunch of snow.
Yeah, and then this figure
and then
behind
follow it up with
tree.
that.
I squinted my eyes and leaned forward into my steering wheel while still driving closer to my house. I was 70 yards away, and the figure walked out from behind the tree. It was a man, a little shorter than 6 feet tall. I was 60 yards away, and the man was taking small steps into my yard, but not behind my house.
Why is small steps so creepy?
It's worse, so I could clearly see him. I was 50 yards away when I was thinking, who the hell is at my house? I scanned my driveway, and no other cars were parked there. No one else was home. I noticed that the man's hands were folded behind his back, and he was slightly leaning forward. Oh, because she's counting down, and it's like, really freaking me out.
First of all,
way to write a story.
You're already, like, if you're not a
fucking me
writer,
up.
Jesus Christ, you're good.
I was 40 yards away when I realized the man was staring at the ground and looking at something as he walked.
Oh, this is like the smiling man. I don't like it.
Oh, God, fuck the smiling man. Fuck you. Why would you bring that up?
Sorry.
I was 30 yards away when I began to make out his clothing. Jeans and a blue fleece button-up shirt. He was still staring at the ground. I was 20 yards away when I recognized the man in my yard. It was my dad. He was wearing the same clothes he always wore, walking the same way he always did, small shuffling steps with a slight hunch in his back. I stared at him for a solid 2 seconds, holding my breath before I blinked and he was gone. I sped up into my driveway and parked my car. Staring at the place that my father had just been standing before he vanished, I began to hyperventilate. I got out of my car and took a few steps into my yard. The bright sun reflected off the snow, and a slight cold breeze rustled through the trees as I scanned my completely empty yard. I ran inside my house and called my mom, sobbing. My father died less than a year ago after I moved home. As my mom tried to calm me down, I peered out of our kitchen window in the yard. Instead, I noticed something else. There on the ground where my father had been standing was a giant heart. My son had been playing in the fresh snow the day before and had made a giant heart by flattening the snow with his boots. That's what my father had been staring at.
That went from incredibly
terrifying
scary
to beautiful
to the most beautiful thing.
Like, now I'm actually having, like, emotional tears and not, like, scared ones.
That was touching. So good written, because
she just had me enthralled.
When you think about it, a dad walking in a dad way, making dad noises.
Yeah.
He'd be kind of, he'd have his hands behind his back, But the way she described it at first without knowing how it was going to turn out.
Which makes sense, because she's, that's not, unfortunately, who you would expect to see.
Right.
What
a gift to see it.
Yeah, it'd be very comforting.
This is from Dominique. Dominique says, I have some stories I'd like to share if you're interested. We're interested, baby.
We're so interested.
In high school, I woke up in the middle of the night because I felt someone sit on the end of my bed and rub my legs.
Oh.
Much like a mother coming in to check on her sleeping child.
Oh.
No one was in the room with me. I felt comforted by the touch, oddly enough.
Well, that's good.
I still ponder what had such tenderness towards me.
Interesting. Okay.
That's kind of sweet.
That was very sweet.
But fucking scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so since childhood, I've always seen shadow cats out of the corner of my eyes.
Fascinating.
I like to think it's the spirit of my the spirit of my cat who passed away in middle school, who still kind of looks out for me. Oh, that's so sweet. I haven't seen any in a long while, but I have no doubt that they'll reappear eventually.
Very cool.
College, circa 2012.
Oh.
I began to see a shadow man in my room.
Damn it.
He had no distinguishable features beside being human-shaped. Every night for a few years, he would stand next to my bed and stare right through me.
I would move dorms. I would move. I know that it's a college and they don't care, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, can you imagine putting your reason for wanting to transfer rooms? It's there's a shadow man.
But I would pay people money and be like, trade me. Trade me.
He did nothing else. Ever since moving in with my boyfriend, I see it now and again in a dark corner of our bedroom. I do my best to place a mental wall around my bed and to vacuum that corner real good on house cleaning day.
I like that. Real good.
Real good. Lastly, and the worst in my opinion, is whatever left this imprint on my window. Oh, there's a picture that goes with this one. But it is one of the most compelling pictures that I've seen. And I've been watching ghost picture captures like a hawk since the internet was invented.
Ask him if we can post it.
I'll ask if we can post. So she says, lastly, and the worst in my opinion, is whatever left this imprint on my window at my bedroom at my mother's house. It absolutely still gives me chills to look at this. In my eye, it looks like someone press the lower half of their face and arm against the window. Yeah. I absolutely would not go into their room for a while. The worst part was the bottom of this window is over 6 feet off the ground.
Oh, fuck.
The second worst part is that the imprint isn't on the inside and it isn't on the outside either.
It's just there.
It's between the 2 panes of glass inside the window. And she said, the shape comes and goes and I hate it. I hate it too.
I hate it for you. Okay, this was sent in by Pepper, and there's a good bit of background regarding my spooky 3 a.m. experience.
The witching hour.
Last year, my father passed away from liver cancer, and our dog passed away a year or so earlier. Oh, goodness.
Gosh.
Losing my father after my sweet white puppy, who I spent literally half my life with, changed me, and I buried myself in witchy practices where I felt almost a whole person again. Both her and my father passed away in my mother's arms, the way we thought would be the most comfortable for them. So before I graduated college this past May, my roommate and I, who are best friends, would give up our beds when one of us went home for the weekend. Our boyfriends would sleep in our bed, and we would sleep in the other girl's bed. When my roommate left one weekend, my boyfriend came over and was having an emotional breakdown. He struggles with depression and shuts off the rest of the world when he's down. I wanted so badly for him just to feel something again that I whispered in my head over and over again, "Give it to me. Just give it to me." I went to sleep after he passed out from crying, and I had the most awful nightmare. I dreamt that I went home with my boyfriend for the weekend to keep Mom company, as she had been increasingly lonely with the passing of my father. She was so enthusiastic and happy to see us, especially since I'm her only child. To be clear, my mother is the last living family member I have to be in touch with. We don't have an extended family to interact with. Anyway, in the dream, a small white dog had run up to me, and within the dream, I recognized something was off. I couldn't place my finger on it, but alarms went off in my body. The dog jumped up and bit down on my arm painfully, and I attempted to shake it off. The next part was weird. It was like my mother didn't even notice or care that the dog did this, and when I shook the dog off my arm, it felt like the dog faked being injured or dead and flew dramatically away from my arm. My mom started screaming at me, and I couldn't comprehend the words, but there was so much venom in her voice. Knowing that shook me to my core. It felt like a malicious prank to sever the tie between my mother and I, in the dream by using the image of a pet that meant so much to my mother and I. So my body woke itself up in a panic, fading out of the dream. I woke up in a sweat for some reason. My eyes immediately darted to my closet, which was open slightly. I looked just in time to see an incredibly fast, blurred shadow with the height of a man slip into my closet.
Ew.
I panicked for a second, staring at it for a long time, realizing I may have invited the entity attaching itself to my boyfriend to latch onto me. Something told me to turn my head after a solid minute had passed, and I saw outside the window a small ball of light. It flew off and out of sight, and I immediately ran to my boyfriend, crying about the nightmare. I never told him any details. He just held me while I cried and traced a circle on my back for 20 minutes. That caught me off guard, since he doesn't know anything about my practices. So I visualized his love and protection going into my back, feeling a warm sensation take over the one spot he was tracing. I soon went back to sleep, and since then I have never had an encounter with the Shadow Man or seen the ball of light ever again.
Oh. She said that she had a background in like witchy practices, so she may have, not meaning to, said, give it to me.
Yeah.
Like to take it, because I think she maybe even subconsciously knew she had the power to deal with that shit.
To deal with it. Yeah.
So he might have tried to fuck with her a little bit, and she was kind of like, get the fuck out.
She snapped out of it. I like how she woke herself up out of the dream.
What was the ball of light?
Part of me likes to think it's protective.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's her little white dog.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's her father.
Maybe her dad,
something that's just like, no.
And if I don't know if it's laid out this way, but I feel like dorm rooms all look very similar in my mind.
Yeah.
But like I'm picturing the closet and then like a window that she saw the light out of. It wasn't so much looking at her, but it was like, get out. And it's like, I'm here and I'm more powerful than you.
I like to think that she has a little guardian there that's just kind of like banished him to the closet.
A lot of these are freaky, but they're turning out to have quite a nice bit of like
power.
Like
or wholesomeness.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here we go. This is a story from Sandra. So she says her first language is not English, so sorry if any words sound funny. Because
I'm just impressed that you can speak 2 languages.
For real.
I mean, honestly, don't even apologize.
My lovely grandmother is a witch with Samisk background. Forgive me if I'm fucking that up terribly. We're amateurs, and we're fucking bumfucks from Texas.
Yeah.
People native to north of Scandinavia.
Okay.
I have wonderful memories of me and my cousins collecting forest herbs and mushrooms for her to have in her witch's cabinet.
Oh, That's the best purpose for grandkids.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so for her to have in her witch's cabinet, for her reading of tea leaves or coffee grounds, and many more things. She found out that one of our ancestors was accused of being a witch and beheaded and burned at the place they call Witch's Mountain in Sweden. She also talks about being the reincarnation of that witch, and she can recall very vivid memories of her walk there.
Oh, how fascinating.
Wow.
Oh, her walk there.
Yeah. In Sweden, in the time period of 1668 to 1676, there was about 300 people that were beheaded and burned.
300?
Because they were accused of being witches.
Oh, my God.
So she said the largest and most talked about is a time where 71 people at the same time.
Oh my God.
Massive.
No wonder it's called the Great Noise.
The massive murder.
Oh shit.
Okay. Whew. Okay, so she's on to the story. So this takes place in the summer. Her and her friends decided to visit the Witches Museum. As they're there walking around, reading about the terrible noise, I'm starting to feel really sick.
Yeah.
Almost to the point of having to throw up. But it was not a stomach thing. It was like in the chest. Ooh, I know that feeling.
I know that feeling.
After 2 hours of watching like the movies and looking at the stuff in the museum, she's like, I just wanted to leave. So we decided to go and get some fresh air by the river. About 200 birds come flying over us. Okay, so we all stand there very baffled. We then decide to go to Witch's Mountain because it's close by, and we wanted to see the monument that stands there in memory of all the ones who lost their lives. Very cool. She says they're standing on the platform, and her friend called me over because she started to also feel very sick and a very strong urge to walk to a specific location in the woods. That's never great.
That's never good.
As we start walking over, it doesn't take long before the air starts to feel very heavy.
No.
And we can feel a light smoke smell.
Oh, it's where it happened.
It's the what was this? It's the char man.
Oh, fuck that noise.
No, we just look at each other with big eyes. It was illegal to start a fire or a barbecue, and this was one of the driest summers that has ever been. So about this time, the two guys that she was with who didn't really care about it, they kind of stroll over and they want to go back to the cabin. That's good. That's what I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, let's get out of here. So she said we ended up just leaving. And she felt sick late into the night, much later into the night. And it was around the witching hour that they decided to do a card reading. So about after an hour of card reading, she felt like it was time to ask why they felt sick and what was going on around the places that they were at. At this very moment, when she was asking the question, she says the very heavy iron door slowly crept open without any wind.
No.
Chills ran down our spines, and she said they took that as a sign that someone did not want them to know.
Wow.
About what was up with them that day. Fascinating. I had no idea about that. I want to look more into that.
The terrible noise.
The terrible noise.
Oh, what a terrible name.
I want to look into that. 71 people at a time.
That's atrocious. Ugh.
And a big iron door swinging open's not good either.
That's never good. This was sent in from Jessica. She said, "Happy Wednesday to you lovely ladies."
We're lovely lady.
I'm not sure if I'm sending this in time to be considered for the Spookysode or not, but I figured you might enjoy my tales a bit. When I was an early teen, probably 11 or 12, my mom and stepdad owned a hardware installation company. They would go out to new houses and put on new doorknobs, bathroom hardware, etc. There weren't many regulations at the time as to when the jobs would get done, so they would often be working well into the night. And my parents had 4 preteen teenage kids, free labor for them after school. Yeah. This particular night, it was just my mom, stepdad, and myself working at the back end of a brand new subdivision. Empty lots all around us and far from the only occupied houses with the streetlights. We finished the upstairs and we were working downstairs. I was helping my stepdad install the front door handle and my mom was in the master bathroom. She kept coming out and asking why we continued going upstairs. And we tell her we haven't been up there and she swears someone had been walking around up there. My stepdad goes to investigate and finds nothing. Everything is where we left it and the windows are all locked. She keeps getting freaked out. So my stepdad sends me in to help her. Of course, I'm kind of laughing at how freaked out she is until I hear the footsteps as well. We finish up the bathroom as quickly as we can, and I go to help my stepdad once more with the front door. I'm holding a flashlight so that he can work when a bright light catches my attention. I look out to the dark walkway and I see a little girl.
Don't fuck with me.
Oh, I can't remember her face, but I remember that she was wearing a long white nightgown with a white nightcap. She had long brown hair that went to the bottom of her shoulders. I didn't feel anything menacing from her. It was more of a curiosity. My stepdad noticed my distraction and turned in time to see the girl begin to walk towards the open lots around us. She passed behind some of the pillars on the porch and did not come out the other side. My stepdad and I looked at each other, confirmed that the other had seen her too, and then never said another word about her.
I imagine they just look at each other and like nod and then just...
Oh, not crazy? Not crazy. Okay. The second story is a little bit different. Okay. I've only told 3 people about what happened, and it still freaks me out to this day. I was in New Orleans for a friend's wedding. I was in the bridal party. We all rented a house together, and it just so happened that the wedding fell on the weekend that was the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And just because karma loves us, we got hit by a hurricane.
Oh.
Now, we did the smart thing and stayed in town the night before it hit. Can't say that I also haven't stayed in a town when a hurricane was hitting. I feel you. Had massive amounts of fun on a nearly deserted Bourbon Street.
Oh.
And then went back to the house and continued to party. I say this simply to put to bed any ideas that this was caused by alcohol. I was incredibly intoxicated the night that we went out and remained in full capacity of my memories. The following day, the hurricane begins to blow through. We all sat on the screened-in porch, watching the wind and the rain blow in, and had our only cocktail of the day. We were all in recovery.
Yeah, you need that one to get you through.
I had made, poured, and kept my drink with me the entire time I sipped on it. Again, just in case someone thinks I was drugged, and that's what was causing the following to occur. While standing at the doorway looking out into the storm, I felt what I can only describe as a giant moth fly straight into my chest. I attempted to bat it away immediately, but saw no sign of the insect. Needless to say, I was confused and had the heebie-jeebies. That was like when that witch moved her finger earlier, and I was like, I know that happened. So I put my drink on the table and went back inside, and that's all I can remember. From the moment I crossed the threshold, I have no memory of what occurred the rest of the day or night.
Ooh.
Even after 6 years, it's still completely blank. I woke up on the couch the next day with a different set of clothes, and I had felt like I had been run over repeatedly. There was an ambulance in the driveway asking if we still required assistance. I remember nothing. And here's what I was told occurred. After coming into the house, I began to act very strange, and I kept trying to get the groom to take my hand. I would simply say his name and hold out my hand. But everyone agreed that I didn't sound like myself. It sounded as if there was another voice overlapping my own when I spoke. He would take my elbow or touch my shoulder to let me know everything was okay, but I would get upset. When that happened, my eyes appeared completely black. I have blue eyes, so it's a noticeable change, and I would get angry. At one point, apparently, I threw myself to the floor and convulsed before crawling menacingly towards the others. She's possessed by something.
Something's in her body.
Something possessed her. The bride, who was active duty in the military, almost all of us were in the military, got so scared that she actually kicked me across the face. Fair.
Good.
Fair. The bridal party was fairly active in the Christian church, so they began to pray, believing I had been possessed, and I stopped breathing multiple times, prompting them to do sternum rubs a handful of times. If you haven't had them done, they're quite painful, especially the day after. They also called for an ambulance, but emergency services were extremely busy that evening. Yeah, the hurricane. Mm-hmm. And they weren't sure if they'd be able to get out to us. Apparently this continued for a while, with moments I would come back to myself and I would say over and over again that we were in a bad place and that we weren't supposed to be there. I honestly have no idea how long that continued, but something finally broke and they were able to calm me down enough to get me in the shower and on the couch to sleep. There were a couple of other things, speaking in a language no one knew. Threatening harm to myself if the groom wouldn't take my hand, etc., etc. But that's the bulk of the story. We evacuated that day and I have not spoken to anyone since. Now, I am not and have not been a religious person for a long time, but I do believe in the supernatural. I also believe that not everything in the unknown is of a peaceful nature. I wouldn't say evil because I don't believe in purely evil or purely good, but I do know that even now as I write this, my hands are shaking and my heart is racing because of the impact it had. Can I say I was possessed? I believe I was, though not in the sense that my very Christian upbringing would suggest, i.e. demons, Satan, etc.
That's where I'm at, yeah.
But yeah, I really agree with her on all of this. But something shared my body, and for some reason, it wanted the groom. I was at a very vulnerable stage in my life, having recently lost both my stepfather, and my son was stillborn, followed by my now ex-husband walking out of the door, and my military career ending. To say that I was an easy target for any being searching for a host would be a huge understatement. Absolutely. But it had no lasting effect on me after that night, and I've never had another occurrence with whatever being that inhabited my body. The groom had also attempted to be unfaithful while we were all there in the house. Perhaps his actions had angered something or someone who had become stronger with the chaos of the storm. It's all a guessing game on my part, but it definitely is not an experience that I would volunteer for ever again. So those are my supernatural stories so far. I hope you enjoyed reading them, and maybe someone had a similar situation occur. All the cosmos know that I'm not the only one who's been through something like this. Blessed be to you all. I am floored. Wow.
First off, we know that storm activity
absolutely stirs up the energy.
It gives it a place to draw power from because of all the electricity, all the energy in the air, yada yada. With that being such a hard time in her life, I think absolutely. You're just not you're not guarded. You're kind of and it's easy to kind of jump in there. We talked about when you take that stuff out, it leaves a hole, and if you don't fill that up, something will fill it up. Yeah. I don't know. I'm everything I wanted to say, she said kind of for me.
She did. And I'm very intrigued by like this personification of a moth, like a spirit, like,
I kind of forgot about that. About
moth
like the
flying into her chest.
Yeah.
Is like how the spirit entered. And I think that's very interesting that it was a moth.
Fuck moths though. Seriously, fuck moths.
I love moths.
Oh, they freak me out.
What?
I don't like butterflies either, though.
What?
I don't like them. Ugh. They weird me out.
I don't understand.
You remember that episode of SpongeBob where they did an up close of a butterfly?
Moths are cute. They're like fuzzy. They're like furry.
I don't like it. Anyway, we're getting off track. I got another one from Allie. Allie says, way up in northern Michigan. Love it already. Way up in northern Michigan is an island called Mackinac.
Islands are spooky. I don't know why, but they are.
Especially in that region.
Yeah.
Up there.
I feel like you're trapped alone with a Sasquatch.
Like Pacific Northwest as well. I just...
basically any Sasquatch territory, I'm already on edge.
They're ghosts. They're full of ghosts. So she says this island is approximately 8 miles round. And
so it's not very big.
Made primarily of limestone.
Oh, neat.
Cars are not permitted on the island, so everyone uses bicycles, hikes, and snowmobiles in the winter. The island has always been sacred to the natives of the area, and it has a spiritual energy permeating from every stone, cave, and cedar tree. Oh, that's pretty cool.
I've heard that limestone is like a big recorder.
It's a conduit. Yeah, it's like a... It was also the location for filming the movie Somewhere in Time, starring Christopher Reeves. Cool. She says, I lived there for 3 summers and 2 winters. And she says, trust me when I say this is the least of my stories. My first summer there was she was a tour guide for the haunts of Mackinac. And forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. I took groups of people, up to 50 guests. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people for a tour.
Damn, dude. On hour-long walking tours. My job was to tell ghost stories. Okay, like a ghost walk. Yeah. All right. And I got to wear a corset. I mean, come on, awesome. All right,
I am all about it.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate for the corset.
She says, on our dead of night midnight tour, we would take guests into a theater on the resort property. The history of the location of the resort is expansive, but for sake of time, we will say that there is a bit of a ghostly activity there. I fucking bet, man. So much that we would bring our tours into the theater at night, then arm them with an EMF, which is electromagnetic frequency readers. Turn off the lights and then basically leave them to their whims of... Leave them to the whims of the ghostly presences. Put an EMF detector in my hand, dude, and turn off the lights. I'm happy. I'll be happy for
do that to
decades.
me, and there is a me-shaped hole in the wall.
Like a cartoon.
I am out of there.
She goes on to say, I've seen a Marine cry. This gets pretty intense.
Shit.
Dude. Okay, so there are multiple ghostly characters. We got some characters here.
I like characters.
So one's a college student, a scorned lover named Harvey. There's a few shadow people, fuck them. And her favorite, she's my favorite, a young girl named Lucy.
Okay.
The true cause of Lucy's demise is not known for sure. It is said that she could have lived in the boarding house, which was built in the 1800s. Okay, there was a period in history where a majority of the children at the boarding house became ill and passed away. I think that happens a lot with those kind of places.
Yeah. Especially when like TB was going around and shit like that.
Yeah. And then with those kind of places, they didn't care.
No.
Nobody cared about the people who stayed in those places. Because a lot of the times, unless it was like a fancy, like a prep school or something, a lot of the times these were kids that got caught doing little crimes and they would be sent away to these places. So like the people didn't have a good view of these kids. No. They weren't going to grow up to be anything in their eyes, you know. So she says, Lucy is playful and kind. A little girl about 4 in a nightgown that is linen, like a linen style.
Yeah.
They've tried to take them back to her parents, like look around for their parents, only to look down and see that she's no longer there. She's been seen running the aisles of the theaters, only to like pass through walls and disappear. People will feel her holding their hand, or they feel a hug-like grasp around their legs.
Oh, that's pitiful.
Sometimes we'll pull out toys for her only to come back later and the toys have been disturbed in some fashion. Okay. They've been moved around.
So she's very interactive.
She's very interactive. And she doesn't sound bad. I mean, she's hugging like people, but still, dude, don't grasp my hand.
Or my leg.
One day, I, alone, felt the need to go visit Lucy. I took an EMF detector from work and set out to the theater. All the windows in the theaters are covered, so it was pitch black inside.
No.
Stop it.
You're brave.
I climbed to the balcony and took my seat on the worn steps. I told Lucy that I wanted to play. The EMF lights flashed. I asked what she wanted to play. Nothing happened. I asked her if she needed help, and the lights spiked red, which is like the highest.
That's like all the way.
I asked her if I could help her. Nothing. I told her it was okay for her to just move on. Nothing. I thought I lost her presence, but I sat there on the steps for another 10 minutes or so in the dark. I stood up, turned to the back of the steps. There, directly in front of me,
fucking hell,
was a very apparent shape of a young girl made out of the consistency of a thick fog.
Oh.
My eyes adjusted just long enough for me to recognize it to be Lucy. At the same moment my brain made this connection, Lucy's fog self flew down through the steps and passed through me in an icy chill.
Whoa.
The EMF detector sprang to life, and honestly, I booked it out of there.
I don't blame you.
She says, I'm told that Lucy is still present. Okay, when she said, do you need help? And it spiked.
I'm very concerned about that.
I don't think that fog thing she saw was necessarily Lucy. I think Lucy answered, and then something decided to show up. Oh.
All right, this one is from Breck. It was me and at the time 2 close friends that started it back in 2006. Mm-hmm. We dismantled in 2010.
Hold on, I want to interject here and just give some backstory. That this is somebody I was talking with, and they actually were a part of a ghost hunting team.
Oh, badass.
Them and a couple of people.
So that's what she was saying. That's what,
so yes,
from 2006 to 2010. All right, this is the same. Oh, I love this. The exciting hunt we did at Fort Chaffee Army Base. Yes, this is the same base those jerks from Ghost Adventurers did a show. I have personal issues with those guys. Sorry. Oh, you mean you don't like Zach Bagans? This is the spot where several years ago, an evil spirit awoke.
Does he sound like Sling Blade?
And a little bit like what's his face from The Office? Me hungry. Kevin. Yeah.
This is the spot.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The fort has been split up for a while now in 2 groups, active and non. On the non-active, it splits again into non-active army only and non-active civilian. We teamed with another group who had permission to go into the non-active military. There were 8 of us in total. The buildings we were investigating have been in disarray for years. I love dilapidated buildings. I love the shit out of them. Holes in the walls, ceilings and floors, windows busted out, so be careful where you step. The location was dubbed as the Old Hospital by us locals because it was the medic wing of the base, along with featuring military police lockup cells, an old dining hall, an old bowling alley, theater, dual for performances and movies, and a swimming pool along the rec building. Unfortunately, in 2011, it was all burned to the ground due to a soldier dropping a cigarette during a burn ban.
Whoa.
And on the dried out kindling known as those ruins. So, a ton of ground to cover. We were amateurs. Yay! She has the sunglasses emoji there. We had cameras, digital video recorders, EMF reader, and a ton of monster. The investigation took place in September of 2010. It was mostly quiet for walking around and trying not to die by falling through the floors.
Shit.
We hit up our first activity in the theater. I graduated in 2008 from Southside, and our senior musical was South Pacific. Set up in the old theater was props and a sign from South Pacific.
Oh, hey.
I dropped my jaw and said the following, a little too loud, but everybody laughed. No fucking shit, dude, that's scary. And everyone jumped thinking I had seen a ghost or apparition of, something cool. As we laughed, a voice came from the projection booth. We all watched as a male shadow moved around up there, acting like he was installing a movie onto the movie reel, and just poof, gone. We said, residual haunt. It's not an actual spirit, but a recording of energy playing a ghost film for us. We made our way to the old army cell. These cells are 100% heavy metal and rusted. We tried to move one of the doors and it would not budge, not even an inch. As I walk by the last one, I'm heading up the rear of the team recording. The cell slams shut with such force to rattle the other 2.
Fuck it.
It was locked. We could not get it to budge. A shadow man appeared inside and started staring at us.
I don't like it.
The other team's leader tried to talk to him and to provoke him, but he just kept staring at one of our other members like she was a piece of meat.
Listen, I don't like that.
I don't like any provoking either.
Also, don't talk to shadow people.
No.
Don't do it.
I got really, really bad vibes. Like, if this dude had his own body, he would have been doing some fucked up shit bad. So I broke out my salt and did a circle the best I could around the cell to keep him there. Go, you.
Be gone.
Gave her a protection sachet and demanded she wear it for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
What I did not know is the other team brought a spirit board. But the other team members didn't know what a spirit board was and really wanted to work with one. Shaking my head.
Don't do it if you don't know how to do it.
We made it into the hospital, and Tweedledee and Tweedledum broke out the board and started using it, but being super disrespectful the whole damn time. I told the rest of the group that I was not comfortable with what they were doing and that we needed to leave. My team agreed and headed out. Their members asked me what was wrong, and I explained that these 2 yahoos were using the board wrong by not having a circle up or any protection whatsoever, and by being disrespectful.
Also, if you saw a shadow person...
Yeah, you already know that there's menace.
Like, you don't need to try to communicate with those.
On our way out, we got to witness an array of ghosts, for lack of a better term, just walk past us in the halls on their daily business. It was more residual haunt. At our cars, a shadow man came up behind me to tell me, your friends inside are not welcome here anymore. I flat out said, not my friends, pal, and told everyone to get in a circle I made with salt and did a cleansing with white sage. This was not the same shadow man from the cell. This one was more a trickster energy than an evil energy. I still cleansed us as I did not want anything or anyone following me home. After that, investigations drained me too much, so we dismantled. I'm still game if a group invites me, but I'm not looking for anything bad like the cell dude again.
I think that's exactly the correct energy that you come at something like that. If something comes up and your friend's inside,
not my friend's pal.
That's the exact energy.
I like how she called him pal.
Yeah. I just imagine she's like in a pinstripe suit. And she's got like a cigarette,
got
like
a filtered long
hat.
cigarette.
She's not my friend's pal.
Holy shit. No, because I was just reading and then just saw the shadow walked up to me and said...
And told me.
I was just like...
No, thank you.
Wowee, man. Oh, wowee.
How do you feel now?
I need a drink. And I need some Portlandia. I have something for you.
That's right, you were going to give me a present.
Yeah, okay, so it's nothing big, but it was just something that came into my life, and I knew it needed to go to you. I work at a toy company. So anyway, this guy was just a little wayfaring stranger, and he was like an outlier, and he wasn't in inventory, and we couldn't ship him in, so he was just this lone little thing.
Oh, my favorite thing.
And so anyway... And he's a little winter
penguin.
Oh my god! And I wanted you to have him because you love winter. And I thought, the moment I saw him, I was like, I have to give it to Charlye.
That's his name. His name's Winter. Look,
he's beautiful.
Fat his ass is.
He's built like the chickens from Chicken Run.
Yes,
he's built just like him. He's very sweet. Oh,
I'm gonna hold him all tonight. Let me tell you guys.
No, it's very high quality. If I do say so.
Oh
myself.
No, it's great. Thank
Little
you.
Winter. You're welcome.
I love him. All right, guys. I think the time has come. I hope you guys really enjoyed as much as we did all the stories we had.
As scared as I feel and very uneasy, I almost feel cleansed. I feel almost like this was like therapy in the weirdest way.
This kind of stuff always is very cathartic to me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sending us in your stories. We are going to continue to do our Spookysodes every 10 episodes. Because Halloween fell kind of in a wonky spot, but we knew we wanted to do a Spookysode.
Yeah, we'll pretend that this was our 25.
Yeah, we're going to push ahead. So our next one is our 35th episode. So if you'd like to send us in your stories, and please do, send those to wbahpodcast@gmail.com. Today's Spookysode was brought to you.
Spookysode.
Today's very spooky special-sode, fuck my life, was brought to you by Alicia C. Thank you. Alicia C.
Oh, goodness.